Welcome to another episode of the Ark Survival Guide. We just made it through the hurricane. We ended up losing some time because we had to stay inside. It's a lot like living in Florida, as you can see. It is beautiful weather out now. Just survived a hurricane, now it's perfect. Go figure. So, let's see if we can make up for some lost time here. We're gonna try to tame our first dinosaur, our first real dinosaur. Dodos really don't count. We've put together a lot of the materials we need. One of the most important things we can get for taming a parasaur, which is going to be our first major tame, is bola. Now, bolas are really helpful. They can completely incapacitate a smaller dinosaur like a parasaur or raptor. So we're going to try to gather some materials and get as many bolas as we can. And let's take a look here. This is a level 5 female parasaur, which is exactly what we want. I prefer female dinosaurs over males because they lay eggs, which is not only helpful for eating, but you can make kibble later on. So I'm going to go ahead and put the bola in the hotbar and then make as many of these as I can. The great thing about having the engram in the hotbar like that is I can see what I need and craft on the fly. And I'm going to just keep picking up any dino droppings I see because we're going to need that for fertilizer later on when we start growing crops. So we're just harvesting the materials we can. I want to get a few bolas ready just because you never know how long it's going to take to tame something. And you only get a few seconds out of that bola before the dinosaur gets up and starts running around. So we may have to bola it down a couple more times, just depending on how much it fights back. I like to tame low-level dinosaurs when I start out because I don't have very good ways of knocking them out, and I don't have a lot of narcotics to keep them unconscious. So I want to make it as easy and simple as possible. And since we're just starting the game, the dinosaurs will continue to level up as long as we have them. So I want to tame a low level as early as possible, and that's going to pay off in the long run. So I'm going to gather some more berries. We're going to need berries to feed this. Oh gosh, that oviraptor freaks me out every time. I'm going to come back and kill him when I have something that can catch him. I could waste a bola on him, but he's not worth it. He's just a jerk. So I'm going to continue gathering all the materials we need. And we definitely want to get this tame as early in the day as possible, because if it becomes nighttime while we're taming something, the predators are going to come out, and if there's any predators on this beach, it could get really nasty. So we definitely want to tame them as quickly as possible during the day. It's also really hard to find a dinosaur at night when you've tamed it because you can't see very well. And as you know, I've said before, I like to stay indoors at nighttime as much as possible, or at least stay close to my base where it's safe. I've had to tame raptors overnight and, fight off predators the entire night long. Alright, so we got some bolas. I'm going to stick that in my hotbar for easy access. And let's see if we can find that parasaur here. I also want to gather some stone because I need a lot of shots for my slingshot. On the bottom left of the hotbar, you can see how much ammo I have. So there's the slingshot icon on the far left, and then the number below that is how many stones I have to throw. And I want to make sure I've got plenty of those because it's going to take quite a few to hit that. I also have a spare slingshot in my hotbar because sometimes while you're taming something, your slingshot will actually break. Let's see if we can get some basic food here. I probably shouldn't be eating too many berries because I'm going to feed them to my tame, but I will eat a few just to make sure I've got enough food to last the battle. I'm going to go ahead and collect some more materials here. You want to make sure you're topped off for water and food before you go into a tame because you don't want to get distracted and have to stop your taming to go get some food. I also make sure I've got enough food on hand, and on the bottom right you can see how much meat I have. So I'm going to try to top off my food here. Okay, it's starting to get kind of late in the day. We lost too much time during that storm, but it may still be worth trying to tame this guy. We'll see. Once again, we're using the hatchet instead of the pickaxe because it gets more stone. Alright. Oh, hey, another egg. That's why I tamed this guy immediately, because we'll just keep racking up eggs throughout the game. I'm eventually hoping to get enough eggs to tame that Oviraptor, or maybe I'll kill that one and tame another one, because that one's been driving me crazy this whole time. But Oviraptors are really helpful because they increase your egg production, and that can be really handy later on. But that's kind of a later tame. I'm not going to worry about him too soon. Okay, so we got some narcotics here, and that'll be real helpful if the dinosaur starts to wake up while we're taming it. You can see it's starting to get cold. Anytime we're in the water, we're getting cold because the sun's starting to go down. The temperature is dropping. I would normally just go ahead and stay inside at this point, but I don't want this Parasaur to get away, and I definitely don't want it to get killed by predators at night. So, I check the level one more time. It looks good. I'm going to pull out my bola, and if I can hit it anywhere, it doesn't have to be the legs, I'll hit him on the body, and I'm going to just start pelting this guy with rocks with my slingshot. The rocks do torpor damage, which makes him go unconscious, and if I hit him in the head, it actually has a damage bonus. And there we go. He's down. Got him knocked out. You can see the purple bar at the bottom is the unconscious meter. That shows how unconscious he is. I'm just going to start gathering a bunch of berries. Usually I'll carry a big stack of Medjo berries when I'm going to tame something, because the Medjo berries actually give it better stats as it levels. So I'm going to transfer those to its inventory, and it's going to start eating those, and you can see that taming bar is just starting to go up. So you have 2 bars on a tame. There's the torpor, which is, how unconscious he is. If the torpor bar gets to the very bottom, then he's actually going to wake up and all of our taming was for nothing. He just resets. I'm going to get my torch out because it is now getting dark. This is exactly what I did not want to happen, but it's going to be worth it to try to keep that dino alive. So rather than just spending all the time gathering, I'm going to run back to my hut real quick since it's right here and grab these materials, which I should have grabbed before. And here we got some Medjo berries. The reason I've been saving those up this whole time is because if I tame that Parasaur with Medjo berries, it's actually going to gain some bonus levels. Your taming effectiveness is increased if you give it more of its favorite foods. And so I'm going to try to give it Medjo berries, which are more effective for taming it. If I can find this guy, where in the world is he? This is one of the other big reasons you don't want to tame something at night. It's really hard to find it once you've left it, so. And Parasaurs are colored a lot and shaped a lot like rocks. Oh, here we go, great. So you can see his unconscious bar is still decreasing, and his taming bar is just a little bit up. It may have even decreased. Oh, wow, yeah, okay. Now he is eating everything, and his taming bar is going up quite a bit. So we're going to just keep getting some berries, see if we can stack him up with enough Medjo berries to finish the tame. He'll actually gain a couple bonus levels if I can keep that taming effectiveness high, which is really helpful if you can start at a dinosaur with some levels to build. I can start buffing up his stamina and, give him a little bit of extra weight for helping carry stuff. So we're just going to fill him up with berries. And I want to stay nearby because predators will attack and kill this guy while he's on the ground. And it's, once again, if we do that, he's going to die, we lose all of our effort, and we basically have to start again at square one. Also, while I'm getting these, I'm getting fiber, which is going to really come in handy because we'll use it for building our house. So it's never a waste to gather berries. I usually grab them anytime I'm running past one. And we're staying close so we don't lose sight of him. I'm going to keep these berries filling up. And you can see his torpidity is still pretty high. He's losing that slowly. The higher level of dinosaur, the faster that torpidity goes down. And there will be a lot of things we'll be taming later on where we have to just constantly keep feeding them narcotics in order to keep them passed out. So I'm going to keep gathering stuff. I have not seen any predators yet. One of the big reasons we went hunting earlier is so that we could clear out most of the predators. But, you never know when one's going to wander in. Especially velociraptors are terrible about that. Oh gosh, that is a parasaur, thank God. Speaking of velociraptors, whew. So, yeah, as you can see, you don't see stuff coming very far at night, and that can open you up to a lot of problems if something gets the jump on you. I still haven't made a water skin yet. I usually will make those pretty early, but I've never left the coast far enough to really be far from water. So running out of running out of water has not been a problem so far. Wow, this guy is almost tame. This is really easy since he's such a low level. And yeah, he is in great shape. I think he's going to be tamed pretty soon. Now those narco berries that I have, I can actually put those in his inventory, and if I use the right trigger, it's going to actually use the narco berry and increase his torpidity. But I don't think he's going to get below half torpidity, which means we're not going to have to even use anything to tame this guy. So I probably could have tamed him much earlier if I wanted to. But, you know, live and learn. So he is just about maxed out, and I'm just going to wait for this taming bar to go all the way up. Still no predators, thank goodness. Great. And we just tamed our first major dinosaur. Now we have to name it, and I have not stopped to think of a good name for it. Oh, and the first thing it does is poop. Great, thanks. That is actually going to be really helpful later on. So that's another nice thing about taming a few dinos, is you can keep them constantly giving you fertilizer. So when he's first tamed, he's already on follow. And I'm just going to run down towards my base, get away from the center of this beach as fast as possible, and try to avoid any nighttime predators. I'm going to have to check back every now and then because I may be a little faster than him. Oh, hey, a Lister store. Great. These things are not very helpful if you tame them, at least at first, but if I attack him, as you can see, well, you can't really see. My Parasaur, there we go. My Parasaur is actually fighting for me, too. You can also see how weak he is as a fighter, because a couple stabs would have killed that guy. But, you know, grab some meat from him. And it's pretty helpful, though, because I can save on my weapons breaking. I probably would have broken a spear killing that guy, so it's another nice thing about these dinos. And cold and starving, that's just kind of the nature of Ark, even though we are in a tropical paradise. So let me get back to my house, and there we have our first tame. This is our Parasaur, with a very uncreative name, but whatever. And I've also got a level up available, which is awesome. So first of all, when you have a tame, I'm going to hit triangle or square to access his inventory. And I'm going to fill him up with berries so that he doesn't starve to death, because just like me, he can actually starve if he doesn't have berries in his inventory. And you don't really get a whole lot of warning, just suddenly he'll drop dead, and oh yeah, there goes your tame, you'll never get him back. So I always want to keep those berries filled up on him. Now, right now he is not following me. He'll just sit there and wait faithfully right outside my door. If something attacks him, he'll fight back, and you know, I'll most likely lose him first, which I'd rather keep him alive, but if anything does attack, he'll keep it busy. Now, on PS4, I can hit the top left bumper, L1, and up on the direction pad on the left side, and that'll actually create these green arrows. And he's going to move in the direction of the arrows and stand at that spot. So that's an easy way to get him to move around. If there was an enemy, I could click that same arrow onto the enemy, and it'll turn red and he'll start attacking it. So that's probably the most simple way to control your dinosaur. Another thing you can do is whistle commands, which I'll go over in a second. But you can effectively control them just by pointing them with the arrows. And hey, it's light is coming out. It's finally made it through the night. No predator attacks yet, so we're doing pretty well for that. This is actually a pretty safe section of beach, thank God. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stick my bolas back on my hotbar. Bolas are actually the best way to defend against velociraptors too. So just in case anything comes, you can bola a velociraptor and he's just stuck there. It won't bother you. So we are well on our way to succeeding on Ark. Thanks for watching, and tune in for the next episode.